Hello, and welcome to Rocket Fuel, your daily update for everything that's happening in the Rocket Pool community. Today is November 21st. I'm Whack Whack Attack, and we've got a whole lot of updates for you. So let's get started. The first one is this post came in yesterday. It's a screenshot from someone called Nicola_J. Heads up, starting tomorrow, you'll be able to borrow DAI against the rETH using MakerDAO. The executive proposal to lift the debt ceiling from 0 to 5 million DAI for rETH goes live at 3 p.m. UTC and will also have full support for rETH vaults right away at DeFi Saver. So Nicola works at DeFi Saver. They're a huge part of the rETH finance community. Really cool person, really helpful, great product. Super glad to see rETH finally getting onboarded into DeFi. So of course, rETH is available in other DeFi products, but Maker is a really big step towards much wider integrations. So that was a hint yesterday that was happening. And then Fizz shared a post as well yesterday evening saying heads up and starting tomorrow. So like saying the same part of the information from Nicola, and then saying, why aren't we talking about this? I got word from the Rocket Pool guys that a Chainlink rETH Oracle is in the pipeline, so hopefully not long until an Aave integration. And Compound is planning a version 3 with ETH as the base debt asset, so it would be cool to see rETH added as collateral there too, next to STETH and CBETH, which are currently planned. So I guess Fizz was like, yo, the community, come on guys, make more of a case about this, because this is a really big deal. I've obviously been talking about all of these things on Rocket Fuel. Other people have been mentioning things on Twitter and on Reddit. So as an example, on Twitter, then yesterday Jasper made this post. It says, Reddit, run from it. Rocket Pool will arrive all the same. Today, rETH holds 2% market share. Tomorrow begins an orange dawn. Starting November 21st at 2 p.m. UTC, you'll be able to mint DAI against rETH on front ends like Oasis .app and DeFi Saver. And then there's a meme here which is from community, and it's the infamous paintball fight episodes, which were really amazing. Great show. And it's like Rocket Pool just turning everything orange, which of course we all want to see. And then Jasper goes on to say DeFi is ready for rETH with a series of planned collateral reductions, the MEV smoothing pool, endless community support, collaborations with EigenLayer and node operators, and staking as a service layer. Rocket Pool will onboard millions of ETH, which is absolutely incredible, which is what we want to see. And then Jasper says, I'm hearing through the grapevine. Yeah, that's just a meme. So let's leave that there. But this is really great to see. So then what happens next is this morning Invis shares a screenshot saying that there is a limit for 3 million DAI from rETH, and then there's a 1.5% stability fee, and at the moment 0 has been minted, and that was just before the minting went live, I think. And then we had this comment from, it was a screenshot from a different Discord channel. Patrick J, who works in Maker Governance, shared a screenshot saying that the first 20,000 DAI was minted from the rETH vault. And then we got an official announcement from Maker saying empowering more Ethereum stakers. Rocket Pool staked ETH. rETH has been deployed as a new collateral type for the Maker protocol through the rETH A-type vault. Users can now generate DAI from rETH. And then it goes on to explain the rETH vault has been deployed with the following parameters: minimum collateralization ratio 170%, stability fee 1.5%, debt ceiling 5 million DAI. MakerDAO has proclaimed its support for the decentralized success of the Ethereum network. As a step towards the outcome, the diversification of Ethereum node operators is crucial. In addition, growing accessibility for staking is needed. And then it says Rocket Pool democratizes participation in Ethereum's validation and node operation. Through the Rocket Pool protocol, anyone can become a node operator with 16 ETH, half of the ETH required to run a regular Ethereum node. For stakers, anyone can stake as little as 0.01 ETH. And then just goes on to explain a little bit more. And yeah, it's really amazing that we're actually here. Like, something that was always 2 weeks away for the last so many months has now been delivered, and it's live, and you can use it. So now let me tell you, for those who've never used Maker before or don't exactly know how it works, Maker works as a lending protocol. So it's like a bank, right? But it's over collateralized and it's totally permissionless. So now what does that mean? When you go to a bank and you need $1,000, they'll run like a credit check on your name and they'll give you $1,000, and then you will owe the bank that $1,000. That's called an unsecured loan. However, you can get something called a secured loan as well from a bank. Like, for example, when you buy a house, you get a mortgage. That mortgage is backed against your house. So your house is collateralizing that mortgage. Now, what does that mean? That means if you don't pay your loan, then the bank can take that house, sell it, and get their money back. So that's a collateralized loan. Now, with cryptocurrency, it has to be trustless, right? So you don't need to give any, you don't need to give your identity. You don't need to give any guarantees of who you are or whether you'll pay it back. The way that the protocol demands that is through something called over collateralization. So for example, you will deposit $20,000 worth of rETH into Maker, and they have it says collateralization percentage is 170%. So I think with that amount, you can get back like 8,000. I want to say, no, like 10,000, I think, something like that. Some amount of DAI you can get back. Now, what happens if the value of the rETH goes below that amount? So then you get something called a liquidation risk. So if the value of rETH or Ethereum, I guess, goes down a lot in that time, then you will lose your ETH because it will be sold to pay back your loan if it goes below that level. Now, apps like DeFi Saver can kind of like tweak things behind the scenes to make sure that you don't get liquidated, to prevent that from happening. I don't fully understand the technicals of how they work, but those exist, and a lot of people in the Rocket Pool and ETH finance communities like swear by DeFi Saver. I've never used it myself, but they think it's invaluable, like it's a lifesaver, like literally like will save you your assets if it looks like they're going to get liquidated. So this is risky. DeFi lending is risky. DeFi borrowing is risky. You can lose everything you put into it. So be aware of that before you use it. However, now that, it looks like we're almost at the bottom of the bear market, hopefully, we've seen the bottom, then it's a good time to borrow now, because as the value of Ethereum goes up and the rETH goes up in the future, as a percentage, your debt that you take on will go lower. Now, one thing that some people do is, in this case, is something called folding, which means that they will borrow the rETH, they will deposit rETH, borrow DAI, use the DAI to buy more rETH, then deposit that again, then get DAI again, and then do that over and over again until you can like 2x your rewards on your rETH. However, that's quite risky because there's a liquidation risk there. So Maker's live, it's all good, and I think that debt ceiling is going to be reached quite soon, which is really cool to see. So now I have this announcement from Langers, who says it's been over 2 months since the merge went live, time has flown. And then he talks about how MEV blocks get distributed if you're running the smart node stack and you are Rocket Pool node operator through the Rocket Pool system, then everything gets done automatically for you. However, it says here, if you're running native mode, you need to ensure that it's configured correctly. So it goes on to say the MEV grace period has ended, and starting from the following rewards period, which is on the 24th of November, you must have the correct fee recipient, or your mini pools will be penalized 10% of their deposit and rewards when the penalty system has been enabled. So the punishment for not having this set up in the next 3 days is quite high. Rocket Pool has been telling people to get all this in line for the last few months now. So, your grace period has ended. Get your free distributor set up properly, or you'll get pretty hefty punishments. So Langers goes on to say, obviously we hope no one is ever penalized, but it's important to ensure that execution layer rewards are distributed fairly. Please reach out if you have any concerns. And and then Mentor has a post here that's like linked to the bottom. He says, for those who want a quick am I okay check, and then just go to run Rocket Pool node status and make sure you see the fees distributor has a balance of X. So that information is there for a quick check for you. Okay, so next we have this post from Joe, who says, heads up dudes, I made a post to capture all the talk about how we should handle changes, updates to the Watchtower and or reward tree spec. And then there's a link to the forum post here. And in the forum post, Joe talks about the context about how contracts are upgraded, how it takes a really long time for it to happen. And then Joe also goes on to say the process change. So he says, now that the Oracle DAO is expanding and responsible for calculation of rewards off-chain, the community has expressed a desire to apply the same kind of due diligence to the Watchtower's functionality as the contracts receive. That means governance discussions, proposals, and votes around major changes to the rewards tree structure and how it's calculated, sufficient time to allow for multiple independent implementations to test those changes and ensure parity with each other, longer periods between Watchtower update announcements and activation to give the community and Oracle DAO members time to assess changes, submit suggestions, or pull requests for adjustments. We think this is the correct way to go as well. However, we want to balance this in a way that doesn't conflict with the regular cadence of updates and releases that regular node operators have come to expect. In the medium term, and then Joe goes on to explain like some of the things, how it will work, and next steps. This process is an amalgamation of a few different sources, so I'd like to get everyone's feedback first before making it canon. If it looks like there's general agreements without any major blockers, I'll put together a post for the first of these major changes, which is the change in the rewards tree specification, which has admittedly already been developed and tested by Petrus and myself, but not deployed because we wanted to go through the above process first, if that's what everyone lands on. And then Petrus says, hi, over the process looks fine to me, and then asks for some clarifications. And Ken says, overall, I'm supportive of the proposed changes. I'm interested in the answers to Pieter's questions above. And then Mao says, I like it, I'm in favor. So that's really cool. Okay, now going back to the lending stuff again, and I'm sorry if you can't see this properly on the screen, but I'll try to like read out some of it and try to capture some of the essence. So going back to lending, so Etienne here is a representative of Myso Finance, and Myso are trying to develop a borrowing and lending protocol for rETH, and has motivation here and a proposal. It says Myso proposes to roll out rETH cETH pool with the following parameters: loan tenor 90 days, collateral currency rETH, loan currency cETH, initial TLV 90%, loan per collateral, and then there's information there, and interest rate multiplier 1.005, and then the information. So now what does this mean? He has a value add section. It says Rocket users, borrowers get leverage yield on rETH without liquidation risk. For example, if rETH temporarily depegs, borrowers can still get their rETH back. Moreover, the applicable borrow cost depends on compound deposit rate instead of the higher borrow rate. Rocket Pool community, rETH can be accepted as collateral regardless of secondary market liquidity. Create organic order flow for rETH ETH secondary market activity, and then compound users, compound community, and then an example of what it might look like here. So what happens is there's a price for rETH, and then there's a price cETH, and the rETH cETH ratio is 52.1%, or sorry, 52.1, and then the liquidity provider adds 3,200 cETH to the rETH pool. Then the borrower comes out, and then they get like certain amounts. So let me scroll forward because there's a lot of discussion that happened on this thread, and it's kind of technical in parts. But the way it works basically is that Val responded here 3 days ago. He said, I respond at a very high level. Use as loan collateral is one of the most asked for uses for rETH. We expect Maker to onboard us before this proposal would launch, but their loan is a stable. You get stable coin in return, so it's a different kind. The ability to hyperstake is brought up regularly. Maker won't safely enable that, so you may be able to launch without competition for a bit. So all of that's pretty awesome. Things that will really get us over the edge: feeling secure, good user experience, marketing, especially word of mouth, will take some time. Our community is very, very active, so you can expect to get feedback and exposure when there's product to play with, and you may be able to get folks to try it on testnet. People are partial to POAPs, etc. For launch, you may want some material explaining the loan to collateral approach, as most folks will be more familiar with Oracle-driven LTV. So let me just kind of explain what this means, right? So like we were talking about Maker earlier, you deposit your rETH, you get DAI in return, which is a USD stablecoin, and then you use that to buy rETH, which then you deposit again, and you can do that. But the liquidation risk that I mentioned is present with that. You could lose everything that you put into it, so it's risky. Now, excuse me, what Etienne and Myso Finance are suggesting is that you deposit your rETH and then you get an Ethereum pegged derivative called cETH back in return, which has much higher value, right? And the peg between the rETH and the cETH will be supposedly similar to the peg between rETH and ETH. So what would happen is, because that peg is kind of semi-stable peg, you can do this process over and over again, where you deposit your rETH, get cETH, convert that to ETH, buy more rETH, and then do that again and again and again. And if you do that basically like X amount of times, you can really start to add multiples of rewards on top of your rETH deposits. So Etienne then here says, many thanks for taking the time to read through the proposal, and providing feedback is much appreciated. And then he wants to go read the Maker proposal. And regarding security, want to make this opportunity audit recently completed with chain security audit. I want to quickly share a link to a testnet to invite Rocket Pool community to test it. And then there's a link to the testnet. And we currently also give away a campaign with different prizes. And again, invite the Rocket Pool community to participate in the giveaway campaign. Regarding loan to collateral approach, thanks for pointing out. It makes sense. We'll add that to our backlog and plan to prepare additional documentation material on this. We're all very excited about this case and would love to continue preparation work for this pool. For this, we were wondering if you think there are any particular preferences with regard to loan tenors, 30 days, 60 days, and LTVs. In any case, thank you again for your feedback and suggestions. Please let me know if there's any further questions or ideas, suggestions that come to mind. Okay, so first of all, Myso Finance is a small-time player. Myso Finance, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Sorry, Etienne. It's a small-time player, and the risk is great, right? They're not battle tested, even though they have an audit. Like, people more knowledgeable than me could go and check the quality of that audit. However, there's a testnet, go play with it. There's prizes to be won, there's POAPs to be had potentially. They've got a giveaway campaign. This is the kind of thing that we really, really need by the time LEBs and the SaaS stuff comes along, because we want to onboard as much rETH as possible, and this will be one of the ways that we can do that. So I am not at this point, giving my my approval to this product. I am not technically inclined. I don't know what the quality of this product is. However, it seems on the surface like it's an interesting product. It seems on the surface like it's something that will really help Rocket Pool. So for those of you who are interested in DeFi, if you're DeFi, if you're degens of DeFi degens, then go play around with this, see what it looks like, see if it's something that appeals to you, because it has the potential to be really great. So thank you, Etienne, for bringing that to our attention. Okay, moving on now, we have something really exciting. So I talked on Saturday's episode this week about how the 100th episode of Rocket Fuel is only 4 weeks away, aiming for December 16th, although it might be like a few days before or after that, more likely a few days after that, potentially. So I said one of the things that I want to do in the celebration for that is to do a raffle for people who have POAPs for Rocket Fuel. And I said that I would donate 5 RPL for that if the community got together and gathered 20 RPL for a main prize of 25 RPL. And I said if anyone wants to donate anything else, second or third prizes, I totally welcome that. And you can message me here or on trading on the Rocket Fuel channels. So then Jasper said he'll donate, and since then he's saying that he has donated 5 RPL. Let me see what the next tab I have here is. Yeah, Dave Marley here donated 5 RPL as well, which was really great to see. And on top of that, we had 5 RPL donations from Petrus, who runs rocketscan.eth, and also Ken sent 5 RPL as well. So that was really, really great to see that we have the 25 RPL now for the main prize. On top of that, we got 0.25 ETH from Superfizz, who said that I can do with that as I want, like if I want to keep it for myself. However, I told Fizz that I will add that as a prize for the raffle also. So I think there's also a couple of other people who are talking about donating some ETH for prizes. There's a discussion going on between Sneaky and Owls, looking for Owls, LFO, about matching Fizz's donation, hopefully. So there's a potential for the first prize then to be maybe well, at least 0.25 ETH, but maybe half an ETH. Then depending on the value, the first or second prize will be 25 RPL. Another person has pledged a Rocketeer NFT for the third place prize at the moment. However, I'm still taking donations for other prizes. Please reach out to me to let me know if the money, the RPL or ETH or whatever you're sending to me is as a prize, because sometimes people just send me RPL just as a way of saying thanks, I guess, for making rocket fuel. So I really want to distinguish those amounts. I should have set up a separate wallet for this stuff, and I'm sorry I didn't. But yeah, there's not much I can do now about that. But yeah, if you do want to send me something as a prize, please message me on Discord. I'll be happy to take prizes for that raffle. I think it's going to be a really great raffle. So then what I did yesterday was I made the raffle. I said the raffle for Rocket Fuel's 100th episode celebration has been created. You can enter it here, and then there's a link to the POAP.fun raffle site. More prizes will be added later. The raffle will take place on or around December 16th. Please contact me if you'd like to donate or match existing prizes. And then there was an issue with the link, so the link had been updated. So please make sure that you've joined the right raffle, and I put the URL in this video as well. So let's have a look at the raffle. It says the raffle will be on or around December 16th, the day of the 100th episode Rocket Fuel goes live. And it says this is a celebration. The prizes are still being donated. I will add more information as it becomes available. And now here are the eligible POAPs, okay? So we have the POAP for October contributors for Rocket Fuel. We have the people who smashed that like button to get me to like do, I forgot what it was, but something. Then there was a new Rocket Fuel thumbnail with me going like, which a lot of people got that POAP too. And then there was the original supporters of Rocket Fuel POAP. So those 4 POAPs are Rocket Fuel POAPs. And then I've added another POAP for people in the smoothing pool, just to say thanks for smoothing pool operators. So if you got the smoothing pool POAP, then you're eligible to join this raffle also. And then there's one final POAP here, which I'm going to talk about a little bit more closely. And this is the Rocket Pool Voters POAP. So this is an anti-Sybil, it's a Sybil resistance POAP. And this is... This POAP is given by community members to other community members who have posted at least 500 times in the Rocket Pool Discord. So if you have posted in the... Okay, actually, let's go back to the vote. So each one of these POAPs you have adds up as one vote that you have for the actual raffle. So the more POAPs you have, the more tickets you get, the more chances are that you win a prize. So if you feel like you are eligible for this Rocket Pool Voters POAP, then please send me a message or send Kev a message on Discord. That's Kevster at Kevster. Send either of us a message and we will check your message history on the Discord, and then we will add you. We will give you one of these POAPs for that. So yeah, I feel like everyone in the Rocket Pool community can, who's active in the Discord, can join this raffle. I want to make it as inclusive to as many people as possible, and then there might be a special prize for everyone who enters the raffle, just a small token of saying thanks, but that will be announced later. So let's move on. This episode is getting really long. So here we have, I want to give a huge shout out, right? So yesterday I said this post in trading, I said, can someone help me figure out how to use Rocket Arb? I'm too much of a noob to figure it out. And then basically what happened is I said, hey guys, did I tell you that Ramona is a legend? What a star. And then I was transaction 100. So let me go back a step and tell you a little bit about what this means, right? So I've mentioned this Rocket Fuel a couple of times last week. So right now there is a premium on the deposit pool on the rETH. So that means the value of the rETH is more than on the secondary market is higher than what you pay for it through the deposit pool. So when you start a mini pool, you take 16 ETH from the deposit pool to start your mini pool, right? So it leaves a gap. So what's been happening is there's been an MEV bot that's been coming and taking that space by minting new rETH and then selling it on the secondary market right away. So now what Ramona did was create a bundle transaction that as you start up a new mini pool, it automatically takes that space, that 16 ETH space in the deposit pool, gets a flash loan, so gets a loan and then mints the rETH and then sells the rETH on the secondary market and then pays back the loan, and whatever the difference is, you keep it for yourself. So I did this yesterday. I was a total noob. I had no idea how to do it, and Ramona through DMs basically walked me through step by step, every step of the way, which was absolutely fantastic. Like, I truly appreciate like the amount of work that Ramona's done into doing this, and in the end of that saved me, let me get 0.2 ETH basically as an incentive to start a mini pool. Now that's on top of that. Right now, if you start a mini pool, you can get access to the smoothing pool's outsized rewards for this period. So if you already have a mini pool with the Rocket Pool and you're part of the smoothing pool, then starting a new mini pool will get you rewards for that as if you were in there for the full cycle. So even though you've only been in there for a couple of days, but you've only got like another day to do that. So get on that as soon as possible, because otherwise you're going to miss out on getting an outside share of the smoothing pool if you have the ability to start a mini pool now. So get a mini pool. So I was the 100th transaction on the contract. However, later Ramona said that D91EE takes the 100th ARB mini pool. So basically there is absolutely no reason for you to start a mini pool any other way compared to using Ramona's Rocket ARB. I think it's done a really good job, because it's put more than 20 ETH, back into the hands of the community instead of going to that MEV bot. So congratulations, Ramona, on such a wonderful product. It's really great work, and I'm so happy to see that the team is taking it really seriously as well. So wonderful. Okay, next we had this POAP from Fizz, who said this is a gallery link, it's not the actual claim link, and then there's POAP. So this POAP is in a celebration of 1 year on mainnet for Rocket Pool. It's a really nice looking POAP. The community voted on it compared to a few other options that we had, and it's just a really cool POAP. So this was delivered through the POAP delivery service. So you had to pay $5 to get this POAP. However, all $5 went to the grants management committee for them to use as for the grants. So it was really great that this POAP went out, and we've already had 122 people sign up for it. So that's really cool. Thanks for putting that together, Fizz. Yeah, and then he says here's the link to the actual to buying it with some caveats. The funds will go to the GMC. It's a good cause than I can imagine. Please don't share this outside of our Discord yet, but now you can. The mint fee is just less than $5. This is purely for farming prevention. It doesn't hurt anyone if you choose to pass on this POAP. And the checkout is only for mainnet, no layer 2s. Since it's going to a multi-sig, I didn't want to risk losing funds. So you'll pay a little bit for ETH gas as well for that. So yeah, there you go. That's really great, Fizz. Thank you for putting that together. I already minted mine. Next, we had this discussion that came up. We had this discussion that came up about what we can do with the ETH that we have in the deposit pool that's waiting to be staked. And Domothy had this idea of using that to buy rETH, so it's getting some rewards. However, that doesn't quite work because you use that to mint it. But anyway, it kind of started a discussion here about whether we can do anything with that rETH or not. And it was definitely an interesting thought exercise. Well, Jasper wrote this tweet. He says, memes aside, what if the ETH was AETH, which is the Aave ETH. ETH deposits in Aave ETH, deposit pool size of 5k, that would all be instantly redeemable. Proceeds could go towards the rETH pool to mitigate the APR drain and thus allow us to increase the deposit pool size. And he says, Aave is a pretty low grade dependency. But then a lot of community members were kind of like hesitant about this idea, or kind of like dismissive of this idea, and kind of rightly so, because right now, we're a purely staking derivative, a very pure staking derivative with no exposure to anything else. And this would then add smart contract risk onto that. So it might be something that's not worth pursuing really. So yeah, that was definitely an interesting discussion. You can go back and read it. Next, we had this post from Hani Abu say, "Hey, Whack Whack Attack, here's your memes page. Waiting for DNS resolution to get everything pointing to the rocketpool.community URL. Getting late, so I might finish off tomorrow. But now, so there's no official announcement out, but this is a sneak peek for you all. So the actual website is live here. So the website is rocketpool.community, and it's an absolute reworking of the whole site that was there before. So it has resources, updates, revenue, RPL theses, how to buy RPL projects, POAPs that are the community distributed, NFTs, memes, arcade, bookmarks. So it's like everything to do with the communities here. The page that I was really looking forward to was the memes page. So on the Rocket Pool Discord, there's a memes channel where you can see every meme that has ever been posted. So Hani Abu went back and gathered all those memes, so you can actually go through them one by one now and have a look at all of them. Some of them are really great. Here's one with me, and it says, "So you see, that's where the trouble began," and there's my face, and that smile, that damn smile. So of course, I'm gonna appreciate this. Some of them are slightly sadder. Yeah, some of them are slightly no, that was not what I was thinking of. But yeah, there's a whole lot of memes here. I think there's over 300 of them. It says 343 memes. So go in there, dig in there. I think the oldest one is from April of 2020. Yeah, April 24th, 2020. And it's like, you need 32 ETH to run a validator, and then there's a cat, eating its food with 16 ETH. So yeah, go back, have a look at these. They're really cool. The whole website looks fantastic. It's going to be a great resource for the community. So thank you so much, Hani Abu, for putting that together. I'm going to delve into it a little bit more and have a look at all the different things. Like, I don't know what this pets thing is about, for example, and yeah. So I'm gonna spend a bit of time looking around the website, but I'm really happy that it's there. The POAPs, there's a list of every POAP that the community gave out as well. So it's really cool. Really good stuff. So thank you for that, Hani Abu. Okay, I'm just going to give you a quick sneak peek now of things that are coming up with Rocket Fuel. And so I was talking to Fizz yesterday in trading, and I said, "Hey Fizz, when are you coming to do a Launchpad episode? That's my interview series." And Fizz said, "An invitation hasn't been issued. Our PR firm has no record of it." So I said to Fizz, "I've been working on I want to come on Launchpad mode so far." So Fizz said he'd love to join. And then I sent him a message saying, "Hey, let's do it." So Fizz and I kind of compared calendars, and we're gonna get something set up soon for Launchpad, which is the interview series. And then Jasper says, "Hey, how much do I have to pay to get Whack to want to do it with me?" Okay, so that wording is quite sus right there. Okay, Jasper, I think there's no I don't think you have enough money to pay for that. But then I said, "Hey, you don't have to pay anything, you just have to ask." And I said it'd be cool if you came on to do an episode. I said I'd love to. Do you want to do a regular episode together or an interview series? And I said for the interview series, I'm a bit behind, but I'll add your name to the list. So Jasper and I got talking, and we also compared calendars. And yeah, I'm not going to say anything more than that at this point. Right now, as of this very moment, I'm working on getting something really, 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 truly special planned. And I'm going to have that hopefully very soon. So you'll all be able to see that maybe sooner than expected. I'm really excited. Next, we have the FUD of the week, which is about Genesis and their parent company, DCG. There being a 1 billion hole in their accounts. Where is that going to come from? And then there was this, how they gave a note that was hidden from investors, which is really bad. And thankfully, their other product, which is Grayscale, Coinbase have custody of that, and it looks like they released a statement saying all those funds are safe. So that's one piece of FUD. The other piece of FUD is that the FTX hacker seems to be dumping their 240,000 ETH and swapping it for Bitcoin. The idea is that it might be going through BTC and then into Monero to hide it all. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with that, but that's a big FUD of the day. So those are the two pieces of FUD of the day that we might see some fallout from over the next few days. But I'm going to finish recording here because this is a really long episode. But hey, that maker thing was really, really cool. So it warranted a lot of attention. So I'm going to stop recording. I want to say thank you all for watching. I hope you all had a lovely weekend. And I think we're all going to have a good weekend ahead. So, a good week ahead. So see you all tomorrow. Bye.